All right. Welcome back to the Travi Wavi. I am your affable host, Travis Eason, and we are coming to you again live in the 325 from beautiful, historic downtown Abilene, Texas, the storybook capital of America. And I have a wonderful guest with me again today. You might remember her from February, Catherine. Welcome back.
Thanks for having me again.
How's the summer been?
It's been good.
You guys just got back from Colorado.
Yeah, it was fun, but some work too.
Yeah.
To be done there. Yes, I think the summer's already going by too fast.
It's like the middle of July already.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. I don't even know where July went.
I know, it's just true.
So last time you were on, we discussed lots of things. You're the costume designer at Abilene Christian University. You have a degree and a master's degree in costume design.
Yep.
And you and your husband have two beautiful children.
Yes.
And you're all living here in Abilene. How many years have you been at ACU now?
I will be starting my 8th year.
Okay. Does it
In
feel
August.
like you've been there for almost a decade?
Oh, at least. It's like dog years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have two brothers. We talked about that last time, the sibling question.
Yeah.
They doing good?
Yep.
Yeah?
Yeah, thank you.
You gotten to see them very often?
Here and there.
Yeah.
Here and there, yeah.
Cool.
We're close, but we're not close geographically.
Yeah.
One of them lives here, but he's pretty busy.
Yeah. Cool.
So am I.
So let's talk about, there's so many different things I want to talk to you about. Last time we discussed some process in design, and you mentioned before the show that you are working on a fun piece right now.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about kind of how that came to be and where you're at with that?
Yeah, sure. So a few years ago, I got a call out of the blue from a lady I do not know, but I knew the person that asked her to contact me, and so she's like, "Hey, so-and-so wants me to contact you. She's been cast in my film. This is a lady. They're both from LA. And she says she'll only be in my film if you do her costume." And I was like, oh my gosh, she's so sweet. Yes. Okay, what is it? So it was a short film, and I made that costume, and it was death. But it was like death like from the water. Anyways, it's pretty interesting. So it was a lot of organic materials and stuff. And so then early spring, the same director reached out to me and asked if I could make a monster costume. And I had a lot of projects stacked. And I was like, when are you shooting? And she said this summer. And I was like, I just don't think I can. I have so much going on. And I was like, but out of curiosity, will you send me what you were thinking? So she sent me a rendering that this comic book artist did, and it's a beautiful rendering. And I was like, oh, dang it, that looks right up my alley. I was picturing like a, Guillermo del Toro kind of monster or something, which I don't think I would be very good at doing. But this is Bigfoot. And it's a female Bigfoot.
Oh, cool.
And so she looks like she's part of the earth. Like she's got roots and branches and like antlers, and one's broken. And she's got like honeycombs on her. And it just looks like nature kind of started like growing on her and making her their home. And I was like, well, this looks like it's right up my alley. And she's like, well, I immediately thought of you, and I would love for you to do it. And we will move the shoot schedule if you say that you can do this costume.
Nice.
And I was like, ooh, that's a lot of pressure. But anyways, we worked it out. And so, yeah, that's what I've been working on. I actually have a meeting today with that team because there's also prosthetics involved, and the prosthetic artist works for Disney. And so he and I, the makeup artist, all need to kind of make sure we're all tracking with where the rubber meets the road. Like what part of the costume turns into their purview and what part of it turns into mine.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So that's the meeting that you have next?
Yeah.
And so we're going to get through this podcast so that you
And I
can have a
gotta
little
get-
design team meeting?
Yeah.
That's fun. And that shoots at the end of the summer?
Well, it's kind of, that's currently a moving target, but not because of the costume. It's because of the other aspects of production and casting and things like that.
So besides the teaching load that you have at ACU and the show load, and I know that at ACU sometimes there will be a student designer, but you'll be overseeing
Helping,
the student
yeah.
designer.
Yeah.
But then you're doing these other projects outside of that load. How many other kind of things like that do you normally take on?
I kind of wait and take on the other projects for the summer.
Okay.
Because ACU's load
Mm-hmm.
is so intense. This season, I don't have any student designers this season, so I'll be working on all of those. However, I did our first show, which goes up in September. They had to shift it because homecoming is so late this year.
Yeah, like November or something.
Yeah,
right?
it like
Wild.
closes November 1st. Yeah.
Wild.
And to give context to our listeners, it normally is around October 15th. And so they had to flip-flop the season and put a show in September. And so I gave that show, Amelia Richardson is taking over. I don't know if you've had her on the show yet, but you should.
Okay.
She
I
works
don't know
down
her
at
yet.
the Paramount, and she's
Okay.
also a costume designer.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Are there any shows coming up this year that you're real excited about, the design work?
So Shrek we're renting, but there's about a minimum of 10 that we will have to make that don't come with the package. And they're complicated ones, like, like Humpty Dumpty and things to kind of figure out. And because you just did Percy Jackson and had to figure out like a Minotaur. So I think that will be a fun design challenge. Then we've got Glen Eyre, which I'm excited to do some sort of Empire, Regency, period costumes. That'll be fun. But I'm directing the show right after Glen Eyre.
You are directing the show?
Yeah.
What are you directing?
Well, I don't know if we can say yet because we said, and then we didn't get the rights to that
So
one.
we're
So
gonna
we
wait.
had to change it, and we haven't told the students yet what the change is. So I
All
don't
right.
know if I can say it.
All
But
right, we'll hold
it's a
that.
really fun one.
We'll put that in the pocket.
Yeah.
How often do you get to direct, and is it something you enjoy doing?
Dawn invites me to direct. Dawn, the chair of our department, invites me to direct anytime. She's like, you can have a slot every season if you want to. I just don't want to.
It's a big commitment.
It's a big commitment, which I know that they understand because they direct. But when I don't get a break off from each show, like I'm involved in every single show, and the directors get a break, and that's great. I'm not not upset about that at all. But that's why it adds a lot to direct and do the costumes for every show of the season.
Absolutely. So in that case, you'll direct and do the costumes because there's not a student designer that could maybe offload some of that
unless
work.
we hire out again. Yeah.
Well, I'll be excited to hear about what you're directing when the time
it'll
comes
be
up.
fun.
So thinking about your career as a teacher, and I know you had a stint teaching high school in Dallas, right?
Yeah.
And you've been teaching collegiately. Talk to me about sort of the differences from high school theater to college theater from your perspective, but then also why you think it's important, why you think theater is an important educational focus in general.
Okay, those are good questions. So the difference for me, when I taught high school theater, you teach, roughly 8 to 3:30, 4, something like that, depending on the district school day. And then there's about an hour break, and then you go straight into rehearsals. And when you're teaching high school theater, you don't have the faculty support. You don't have as many people that can help. So you're all wearing all the hats. When you teach at university level, there can be more like, we have multiple people to help in this area. So that's pretty nice. But apart from that, the big difference for me is I literally still have nightmares of teaching high school. I'll wake up thinking, I wasn't prepared, or like the crowd control, like, like the behavior in the classroom was so bad. But I also taught in the Dallas area. I can't imagine. I mean, teachers today, I hear it's even worse today in the schools.
We had Kyle Martin on last week
Yeah.
talking about some of this, but I mean, I just can't imagine running a department all by yourself.
Yeah.
No matter how old the kids are or how invested they are in the program, just being by yourself, trying to manage a full load of shows and teaching,
And teach.
and it's just too much.
It is too much. It really is. And I don't know that the payoff was worth the too much. But maybe, I don't know.
I don't know.
Is it? Maybe it is for Kyle.
Maybe.
But I don't know. But then your other question, why is it important?
Yeah, why is theater? Why should we continue to educate theater to our children, etc.?
Yeah, I think theater is one of the most well-rounded degrees you can possibly get, because it teaches you time management, in my opinion. Some students we're still working on that with, but it teaches you time management, interpersonal skills. It teaches you to think outside the box in a lot of situations. There's a pivot almost every single day. There's something that you have to go, oh, okay, that's not what I was expecting, gonna have to do this. And there's just so many things like that that I think come along with a theater degree that other degrees are really more like, oh, this is so specific that if they didn't do that thing, they can't think of what else they could possibly do. But like a theater person could be like, oh, well, I'm not acting, but I'm a great salesperson, and like they go into sales.
Yep.
Or they, I don't know, they start a business. They, there's just so many things that are possible, in my opinion. Or they start an Airbnb business like me and my husband.
Yeah. Well, I agree.
Like,
I think it is the most well-rounded education. I continue to harp on that because I think if you spend any time in the theater, whether or not you actually took classes or not, but just even being in a community theater or something like that, that those skills that you build, like you mentioned, the interpersonal, the thinking outside the box, being able to pivot, finding the solutions to challenges that just emerge. Those skills are things that we all need.
Yeah.
We all can become better people by engaging in those processes. I think.
Yeah, I think so.
I want to get a little visual up. So a few years ago during COVID, ACU Theater had to pivot, and you couldn't do a homecoming musical because you couldn't bring an audience.
Yeah.
So talk to me about that challenge.
Okay. Oh man, yeah, that was wild. So we had chosen for our homecoming musical that year, Cinderella, and this was back when we would do our musicals at the convention center, the Civic Center, whichever one you call it. And so, several thousand can sit in that space, and there's 4 shows. And we kind of depend on that, financially.
Yeah.
We depend on that show. And that wasn't going to happen that year because of COVID. So this would be October of 20. So I really think I'm going to give my husband the credit for this. I really think it was, but I'm happy to be corrected on this. But I think he was the one that was like, what if your school did a short film of Cinderella? And since he's in the film industry, that was totally speaking his language. And so the idea kind of starts brewing, and Dawn is absolutely on board. An outside director was going to direct it when it was going to be on the stage, And he was willing to pivot and there's the pivot, willing to pivot and do a short film and direct a short film. Our choreographer was all on board with doing these beautiful dance scenes. Anyways, the whole team was, production designer. And what's interesting about film, which is really quite different than theater, is that there's a lot of hurry up and wait on film. And so there would be times where it'd be like talking to theater people that there was a panic that would be like, well, where's the script, or what are we going to do? It's okay. We're going to do an outline of a script. It's not going to be the script. We're not going to shoot the stage production of it because the actors couldn't sing because you can't be breathing on somebody.
With the mask.
With the mask and the COVID. And they're like, yeah, singing with the masks on. So there were just all these pivots we had to do. And I just remember Jason literally being a rock during that whole thing. He's like, it's going to get done. So he ended up producing it. Okay. And the director wrote it with Jason's voice kind of helping him. Like, yeah, well, you need to kind of take that, kind of. But really the director was the one that spearheaded that. And then it's just a beautiful, basically a music video, shot in Abilene, and so it documents this historical downtown where your podcast is recorded, and it became, I think, stunning. It's beautiful. It's one of my favorite projects I've worked on. And it came from a huge pivot that we all had to go, okay, we're heading in this direction. This is the tradition of ACU theater to do it on stage, and we're not doing it. Yeah. So what are we doing? But we didn't get money for it, though, because we didn't sell tickets. But we did... send out a link to everybody and they could watch it that night. And we heard back from a lot of alum that night just saying, oh my goodness, it was awesome, from all over the world. And it's on ice right now, meaning it's not out there really for the world to see because we need to get the song rights.
Oh, I see.
So, I don't know.
So we can't really guide our audience today to go watch the video. Is that true? Or we shouldn't? It's out there.
I'll just say it's out there, and I have a podcast called Voice of Costume. And sometimes I put my stuff I've worked on.
So if you were interested in maybe listening to, if you were interested in more of Catherine and the Voice of Costume, you could certainly check out voiceofcostume.com, and maybe looking through your website, you might be able to find the. But we're not promoting that.
That's not something we're getting money for. Right. It's just a little side.
But what I thought was interesting, because we were pulling it up, and Sam's probably got it up now. The masks. It just sets this in such a culturally significant place and time that forever, whenever
I feel like it locks it into a year.
Yes, it locks it in, and it almost makes it like an important piece of art.
Yeah,
kind of.
Which is interesting because people always say, "Oh, you want something to be evergreen," so it's that you can't really tell what the year was, like as far as like year indicators. But I think it does, and I'm in no way comparing COVID to 9/11, but there are things, cultural things that happened in 9/11, books that came out that mark those things for
forever.
9/11.
Yep.
That happened during that year, or it happened soon after 9/11, because it's either referencing it or, it's about that or whatever.
So I unfortunately we can't go for a full hour today because you have this production meeting.
That was my bad.
No, it's just part of the process of life. But so with the time that we have left, I want to pivot again and talk about something else that's culturally significant and happening right now that we touched on last time, which is AI.
Yeah.
And this tidal wave of compute and all the various things that are happening right now that are funneling at us. And last time, we talked a little bit about your podcast and how Jason was trying to maybe use some AI to help with editing and things of this nature. Have you guys made any progress with that? Have you played with the tools?
Yeah. Yes, we have. He's done well at figuring out that you can plug in, like, take out the and and it'll take out all the or the space fillers that I know I do.
Yeah.
Right there. And so we use it for that. We've been using it for some, the text that can pop up as you're talking, and so it says what you're talking about. That's kind of the extent of it so far. We haven't used it for it to fully generate anything for us.
Right. Would you want to do that though?
No. I mean, and by that I mean we haven't used it we haven't sent it our video and be like, make a clip from this.
Okay.
We haven't done anything like that.
Because I'm thinking about trying to play with it in that capacity.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, we haven't started yet.
Let me know what
doing that.
Yeah, let me know. Since we've talked, we did get an intern.
Oh, good.
Literally because of you saying that.
Will
in
you
that last
share
interview.
him or her with us?
Well, I'll tell you. I'll share my secret.
Okay.
What we found out. ACU, because you're like, come on, there's colleges here. Why can't? And I was like, yeah, why can't we get an intern? So I think it's the JMC department or the media, some media department there. I don't know which branch of it. They have to do internships before they graduate.
Sam, take notes.
Yeah, and so
I'm recording.
All right. So we're like, well, let's ask Lisa Wiggins, who's head of the department. We're like, let's ask her if we would count as a place to intern. So we passed the test. And so we were given 2 interns. But one is really just voice of costume, and then one is to help with the Jason side of things, like some film editing and different things like that. So, I mean, it's been great. I will say, I think they're more on top of it than we are, because they're like, okay, these are my hours this week. I'm putting together a presentation of what all I did this week. And I'm like, that's amazing. And she's like, have you gotten that list to me? And I'm like, no, I haven't. You're way more on top of this than I am.
Sam and I were talking about this last night. I was like, I think I need to find us an intern fast. And he said, well, what are you going to teach them? I said, nothing. They're going to teach me.
Right.
They're going to teach me.
That's exactly what's going on.
Yep.
It's exactly because she'll send me, okay, well, these are your statistics for, and I'm like, how did you get that information sent? And then she'll be like, okay, I'm going to send you a video and walk you through it. And I'm like, okay, thank you. Yeah. So
they're so much more savvy and tuned in, and I don't know. I feel completely unplugged.
Yeah, and it's only moving faster,
I know.
Which is crazy.
So what are you thinking about the data center being built, and how, is this something that's being discussed amongst students or in your home under your roof?
It's not. I haven't heard it being discussed amongst the students, but in our home, absolutely. For a couple of reasons. One of them being, since we have, we started an Airbnb business 5 years ago. And we actually, I'm going to actually not advertise for Airbnb, because we're actually pretty irritated with them and their policies. They're not very loyal to the people that have been helping them make money all these years. So we actually took it off Airbnb, and we just do furnished finders. So that's who I'll advertise for.
Furnished finders?
Furnished finders. Okay. And so all of our homes are filled with AI workers.
Yeah.
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 Abilene is overflowing. Like the
with
hotels are full.
For a year.
Yes.
The Airbnb or the home that's for rent next door to me, full all summer long.
Yes.
You guys full all summer long.
All summer long.
Yep.
Yeah. And so for that, we're grateful.
Mm-hmm.
I do realize, though, it's more complicated than that.
Mm-hmm.
It's more complicated than like, thank you so much for being here to rent our homes, you know. I don't know.
Traffic on the north side has gotten substantially more trafficy.
Yeah. I have friends, people I know that live near the AI facility, like off those roads, and they say that the people driving down them, the workers are like hauling it, and they're going so fast, and like there's wrecks, and like they're scared to get out of their neighborhood because of like how fast these trucks and vehicle semis and everything's.
Jeff Bell, formerly of Pappy Slocum, who's now working for the Sheriff's Department, was on early July, and I asked him some of these questions, and he said, yeah, we've had a lot of traffic-related calls up there.
Really?
Yeah. It you know, a town the size of Abilene, 130,000 people or so, to have an influx of 3 and now 6,000 additional people in town that are just working in one facility, I'm not saying that we're overwhelmed yet, but we're getting real close
Yeah.
to it being like uncomfortable
Yeah.
a little bit. You know, can't go to Walmart without it just being slam packed.
Right.
Can hardly. I mean, it's a lot of people.
Yeah, it was a lot and fast.
Really
so
fast.
there wasn't enough time to build up the city more to be able to sustain.
Mm-hmm.
It's like floodwaters.
Yeah. Yeah, if we had a year and a half or 2 years heads up, maybe we could have built some more housing or, you know, I don't even want a Tejano bar on the north side. I don't know if that's going to get me any slack, but, you know, just stuff.
Well, I don't know. You know, it started years and years ago. I mean, at least 5 years ago, 6 years ago, something like that. And it's privately funded, this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm curious as to who that person is. And do you have any insight?
On who's funding that? Or
Like who? Yeah, because it was all private money.
it was Caruso was the original team, and I think they got the city to annex the land and got the tax break. And the idea was it was going to be Bitcoin mining, and then I think they pivoted into this AI data center with Oracle, SoftBank, and OpenAI.
So it was officially Bitcoin at one point?
It was initially, at least that's what Donna Albus and some other people have said. But
That's
again,
well, the reason I ask is because workers that moved into our house years ago, they all said Bitcoin. And then when we found out it was AI, we were like, oh, that was just the
property is owned, I think, by Lancium.
by Lancium.
And Lancium originally was they are managing the campus and own the property, and they're responsible for, I understand, the campus of it. Then they are, I don't know if it's a lease or a partnership. Like there's companies like Oracle and several others that have already committed to leasing out or being a part of it. Lancium's part is the campus. The new AI thing is just the new thing that they're bringing in. But yeah, originally it was Lancium was bringing in bit miners, but they were still just going to be the campus.
Who is
host.
Lancium?
I don't know the guy's name. I've seen a front guy for him before.
So that's a company name?
It's a company name, and they're the ones that I think own and got the actual physical campus, the property, and designed or came up with the idea that this campus is going to use this kind of circular water system to help save water, and then the renewable energy rights that they secured, or all of that is all part of the campus.
What I think is really fascinating is that, I mean, we're focused on this data center because it's in our backyard and we bring it up on this podcast. But following the news cycles, like there's another campus that's being built by Fermilabs up by Amarillo in partnership with Texas Tech that's already announced 6,000 acres. Massive. That's 1,000 acres. Meta's announcing that they're going to build data centers the size of Manhattan. So this is like, I don't know, you're not going to be able to answer this for me, Catherine, but
No,
it
it's all right.
seems
Throw it
so
out
strange that like all of a sudden humanity, not us, but the billionaires have decided we need the fastest, most powerful, biggest data centers and we need all of them right now. And I don't understand that, because
I
I'm
don't
seeing
either.
like homelessness and poverty and
Right.
medical and a lot of other things that I could see this money, and
Maybe they're taking advice from AI.
maybe they take, I don't know.
I'm telling you, there are so many rabbit trails I mentally go down with all of this stuff. I find it I don't know. I mean, let's talk in times here. I find it interesting that we're called the Key City.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And there's an AI plant. I'm like, okay, Lord, what you doing with that?
Yep.
Like, what's going on? But I'll bring in my faith here in a moment. Or not in a moment, right now. We're here. We're at the moment. Where I can literally start freaking out over all of it.
Mm-hmm.
And a friend of mine, I love that she said this to me, because she also gets to that point too. And she goes, the Holy Spirit was like, hey, why don't you ask me what I can do with it, instead of what are all these sinful humans gonna do with it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
He's like, because I've got a plan too.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I don't know what all that means, but I'm just saying, I just find that interesting that for me as a person, I can immediately go to fear and, oh my gosh, and what are we going to start asking the question, what is human? Which I think we're already asking that question.
Yeah.
Which that's a scary question, because I'm like, we shouldn't have to ask that question. We know what human is, right? Like, we're all in agreement, right? We're not all in agreement. Like, that's concerning.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but then to just go, oh, yeah, no, I'm not in control. I've never been in control. God's in control.
Mm-hmm.
He's got it. Nothing surprises him. He knew this crazy timeline of all these people setting things up was going to happen at this point in time.
It's interesting, because I think I wonder about that kind of from the same way, like all this compute, all these data centers, and is God just going to come and wipe it all out? Because it's like, no, you guys have gone too far, or like you said, like maybe this is an important turning point in humanity, and it is part of the plan. I might need to spend some time thinking about it like that.
Yeah. Well, and I'm not even saying, God's constructing these things.
No.
I'm just saying God's got a plan that's bigger than our human plan can be, to where he can always make something.
There's always a silver lining.
There's always something
Redemptive.
Yeah, something.
Yeah. Okay, friend, we need to wind this up, because you have very professional things to go and do.
I feel really bad.
Well, no, it's okay. We can get you back on.
Okay.
I mean, that's the fun thing about living in the same town.
That's true.
So, any final thoughts you have today, or questions that you have for me?
Oh, well, no, but you know what? We had such good pre-show.
We did have a good
talks
talk.
that I was like, Sam didn't get any of that. Dang it.
I know.
That wasn't
Gotta
on
be
the
on
show,
camera.
but I think I need to come on and chit-chat with you and pose more of the questions to you. And have you had anybody just sit and talk with you about your artistry? I'm looking at your tattoos.
I mean, I do get questions from time to time, but I will, honestly, I'm still kind of like trying to keep the focus on my guests.
Yeah,
and offer
no,
me
I
a little
understand.
bit. Yep.
But
we could do that at some point.
Because y'all, Travis was saying some gold here about what it is to do tattoos.
Mm.
I don't know. Sometime.
Yeah, maybe we can do that in the future. So, school starts back up next month for you guys at ECU?
Yeah, end of August.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then the first show is in September.
Yeah, Violet, a musical, and
Okay,
Shrek.
yeah, I've started to see some of that on the social media. And then Shrek, you're renting. Is that going to be on campus again, or is that going to be at the convention back on campus?
Yes, I think we have 5 years total that we have to be on campus.
Okay. Cool.
So I don't know if we've done 2 years or, yeah, I think this is our third year to be on campus. So we'll have
A couple more.
yeah, a few more.
Cool. Well, thanks again for being on the show.
Thank you.
It's fun.
I love being here. I love seeing you
It's great.
here, but also around town.
You all check out thevoiceofcostume.com if you want to maybe catch a piece of that Cinderella bit or any of Catherine's awesome guests. She's got so many awesome costume designers from all over the world and all over the different industries. Can I mention the one that's coming up next week? Or do you want to mention that one?
Yeah.
Because people like that show.
Yeah. Go for it. Yeah.
The Bear.
The Bear.
The costume designer from The Bear. Is
Courtney Wheeler.
She'll be on your show next week.
Yes, I'll be interviewing her next week.
And then you guys do post-production and edit and
yeah,
release it later.
but I have one out from her already 10 months ago.
Okay.
But I also Jonathan Davenport is going to come out. That episode might even come out today, actually. But he did the costume or does the costumes for wrestling, for like WrestleMania.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's one of my favorite interviews I've ever done.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll have
Yes.
to make sure to listen to that one. I'll be watching for
that guy, yeah, he's so good.
All right, we're going to let you go so you can get back to work, you busy designer. I was going to make one more quick comment. Do you think that designers are just artists on purpose?
Artists
On purpose.
on purpose, not on a purpose, but
Well, maybe on a purpose.
purpose.
Maybe on a
Right.
purpose. You can chew on that.
Yeah, I need to chew on that. I need to really dissect.
Are
The- yeah,
designers
what
just
the-
artists on a purpose?
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, maybe so. That's
All right,
that's
Sam,
deep.
thank you so
That's
much
deep.
for being our wonderful producer extraordinaire. Neon Parrot Live Studios, thanks for being our home.
Yeah, thanks, Sam.
Majestic Coffee Shop next door, thanks for serving Onyx Coffee, the best coffee in town. Abilene, the storybook capital of America, thanks for being the place where we get to live and tell stories. And Baumgardner Kids, thanks for being wonderfully quiet
Yeah,
and attentive
so
audience
good.
members today. You guys are great. All right, friends, we got some more guests lined up coming up for the rest of July and August, and we'll look forward to seeing you. If you ever want to come down and grab some coffee and come watch us live, we try to start around 10 a.m. on Thursdays. And I think that's all we got for this week. It's a little short, but we have stuff to do. We'll catch you next week. Signing
Thanks,
off
guys.
from the Travi Wavi.